Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad's A to Z. We're just two dads that think they know everything, and we're going to tell you what you should know now.
Actually, I was thinking today we talk about stuff that we don't really know yet about.
Oh, good. Well, that's a lot. I mean, no, we know everything. Sorry.
I was just on my way to work. From work, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I listened to one that kind of like revived my childhood life interests that I never pursued.
Okay.
So I was wondering, do you have anything that in your, like when you were growing up or now when you are an adult, that you always wanted to do, but you've never done it because life happened?
Because life happened.
Like, or is there anything that is like on your radar as a interest, but it would be maybe now like like you can't go back to get a PhD in it because
Right.
it's a little bit late, or or I mean maybe not late because you're just half a century old, but like like it's
Almost.
but like like you know what I mean, like just something
Yeah.
that is something that would maybe either from childhood or now or any time.
Well, I chose the baseball shirt. There was a time where I never truly had the confidence that I was going to play professional baseball, but I was definitely on a path where I was like, all right, college baseball is going to be a thing, and went to my first camp and tore up my shoulder, and my confidence kind of shot down after that, and just never got into it. But funny you said, and just a little behind the scenes, he said, you don't know what I'm going to ask you when we started this. So I didn't know what he was going to ask. This. I actually
Okay.
went to school for radio broadcasting
Okay.
for a little bit, but got disenfranchised because, as Z has found out, I tend to be impatient and want to get things done.
No.
No. um, I didn't want to take broadcast law
Oh.
and journalism. I just wanted to get, behind a mic and learn how to kind of share my opinion, try to stir up ideas, make people think, make people laugh, however
Maybe,
it works
or
out.
maybe make people think you know better than you do.
Thing. um, so, I mean, now we're kind of doing that, which is cool. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, how much better would I have been at it if I wasn't impatient and sat through journalism and broadcast law and all the other classes that I dropped out of at Ocean County College in New Jersey. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I just started going to Atlantic City. um,
Yeah,
yeah.
and any regrets with that? Like I'm like like it's sometimes when I look at from the I'm 42 gonna be in a couple of months and look at the things that I've done. Not that I have like regrets, the school I went to and the stuff I studied and stuff like that. I loved it, enjoyed it, I still love it. But like, how would my life be different if I have chosen something that I'm just I don't know, passionate about, like something I like really want to learn and know more, opposed to something like this. I like it, it's good, but like didn't get me anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I, I don't know. I was passionate about games when I was, especially video games. Like to me, when the Atari 2600 came out, like I was eyes open, like couldn't believe it. But I never fathomed, and of course, back in the 80s, nobody was encouraging you to get into that type of field. It was literally
I
the
was
nerds that just got together and they used to play Dungeons and Dragons, and they turned that into a video screen.
Yeah.
That might have been something that would have been something I probably could have gotten into and really enjoyed. But I did, tickle a fancy getting into the restaurant business as well. I kind of wish I took it more seriously as a career when I first went into management, because I only took management because I felt it was like kind of the grown up thing to do. I wanted to be a leader, but I enjoyed bartending. But there's only so far you can go, and I felt like I needed to take that step but it wasn't in a passionate route. And I did find a time where I was really enjoying it, and I did very well during that time. But at that point, my body was starting to fall apart on me. I had a family, so it was more difficult. Where if I was in my early 20s when I started it,
So you're saying you didn't follow it because the life happened?
kind of,
Yeah.
I didn't realize my passion until the level of commitment I needed life was too difficult for me to put that passion into.
What is your earliest memory as a kid of what you wanted to be when you grow up? Have any?
I'm really terrible with trying to remember
Yeah.
my youth with that kind of stuff.
I'm trying. I'm asking you a question, and like at the same time
Starting to
trying to think like what's mine, and I can't. I don't think I had a defined, like this is my life path.
Well, here's a broad question, almost philosophical. In the States, it was almost a stereotype to say you were going to be a policeman or a fireman.
astronaut, a teacher. Yeah,
Was it the same thing in Serbia, or was it
similar? Yeah, I mean like
football player, soccer player?
yeah. It's like it's a similar thing. Like
Yeah.
I want to be like it's like kids dreaming about it. But like I'm thinking like maybe something that was more formed or structured as a maybe potential path to do. For me, like the earliest I can remember is like really being already like high school maybe, and it was already starting to be like what's practical.
Right.
Never like what's like I love this and I want to
Agreed.
do this. So I don't remember like what was my earliest, but I was just wondering if you had one because like I'm asking what partly I'm asking because like I have a 5-year-old and she's I'm going to be a teacher when I grow up or whatever she's in which phase she is in, and I would like to groom that and keep it. I don't want her to forget the things she wants to be just because like you just like kind of put in a drawer and then like you're 15 and now you have to think about colleges, and now it's like practical against whatever it is. Like I went to college that is not practical. Like
Right.
there's no really maybe if I continue to with a PhD and being a professor at university, but like there's really no degree in sociology. Like there's no like what are you going to be a sociologist? Like there's
Right.
nothing like there's nothing like that. So it's but I enjoyed it because that was something that I liked, not necessarily that was practical or would provide me with some good income later. So I think I chose something that was more like liking, but not like what growing up what was fascinating me. And that's
I don't think I had it, but we definitely had it with our kids. Now, my daughter's a little bit more open to trying things. Originally, when we moved out here, there was supposed to be an acting class in school. She was all about that. She had been in a play or two in elementary school. Class wound up getting canceled. She wound up getting in a chorus on my recommendation to strengthen her voice. Now she's the president of the chorus and she's part of the music leadership. But she's always wanted to do different things. My son has always been art. It's been something that's always been in the back of his head, and we've put varying degrees of not pressure, but almost reminding, not putting it in the drawer, taking it out of the drawer, and going, "Hey, remember art?"
You like this?
And now he's almost 17, and it's still a thing. I mean, just on Instagram, he couldn't sleep the other night and just drew a Ninja Turtle. It was amazing. He just did. He's like, I was tired, didn't feel like doing anything. Posted it on Instagram, looked great. He's doing digital art now. He's teacher's aide for their digital design class in high school as a junior. It seems to be what he's even though he says he's not in his head, just like every 16-year-old.
Yeah,
he thinks he's going to be a game streamer and make $500,000 a year doing that.
Maybe. I mean, why
How about you just try fast food first before you start doing that? One job I never had, fast food.
don't make your kid do it then?
I
A little bit hypocritical.
don't know.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing.
If he starts making $500,000 out of playing games, you can't get a cent out of it.
Oh, I don't discourage him, except for the fact that
You want
when
him-
he plays, he's got such a high standard. If someone starts beating him and he's on the stream, he's a bad loser.
Oh,
Like, dude, you can't be losing your mind because
somebody's
who
better than you.
knows is beating you in the game that you're trying to stream about. No, I got him a camera. You know, he's got a good headset, so he sounds good. His camera's got a light on it. We got him a capture card, which we're experimenting with today. Hopefully that works properly.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good so far. I want to give them enough to dabble, despite my, kind of know. I was never going to be a major league player, but even my parents, they drove me 45 minutes to this camp. Yeah. Why? Did they think I was going to play for the Mets? Probably not. But were they willing to do enough to go, all right, you want to pursue this? Then let's pursue it. That said, they never really kind of guided or talked through it, which is something we do with our kids.
I maybe there's just a difference in like generations in parenting. Like they just probably wanted to provide you with opportunities, and then if something sticks, it sticks. Like I think that's the general parenting guideline. Like my daughter likes music, or we'll try dancing. If you like it, she likes it, great. If she doesn't, we'll try something else until we find something she likes,
it's a
or
big-
she's going to work in retail her whole life. I don't know. We'll see.
Big opportunity that you lose because you don't realize it. The time of your life where, not that there's no consequence, but there's no consequence in going and trying ballet.
No.
It's your parents are paying for it. You go, you do it for a little while, you don't like it. All right. You can't necessarily do that as a young adult where you're worried about rent and paying the electric bill and this
Isn't
and
that isn't that a shame?
Well, it is.
Like like you.
Some people do it though, I think.
Some people do it. I don't think enough people do it. Like, and I look at it like myself as well. Like it's everything is. I read somewhere like not everything needs to be like a hustle. Like you don't have to have a side hustle. You don't have to make money with everything. Why don't you just do it because you enjoy it? And that kind of like opened my eyes, and I was thinking about this episode and what we're going to talk about. And I've never really done something except like playing video games, but that's not really something passion. Just like I just like doing it. It's always like, oh, I enjoyed this. How can I make money out of it? And I think that's like a broken system because it's not. I don't think it should be the.
Which I'm definitely part of that system. I'm like, if we enjoy this and it's good,
I mean, if it produces, and I'm not going to say no to money if the
right,
money
but
comes
it's not
out
the,
of the.
it's not the prime motivator.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking like what like I think spend way less time on things doing something I enjoy just for the enjoyment than just like I do have some hobbies on side business on a side business on side. English is my first language.
That's a 180.
And then I look at the, I on internet and different forums, I see that from the same area, people posting pictures of their projects, and this looks like, oh my god, like they put like 1,000 hours of it into creating that masterpiece, and I'm thinking like you can't sell that. Like you can sell it, but it's way not worth it for the amount of time and effort you put in it. And then I'm thinking like, they're just doing it because they like it. They're not going to sell it. They just like it. And I'm doing it because I want to sell it. And it's and I think that's the broken system. Like you should I wish like we can just do stuff that we can just enjoy.
Yeah, well, but there's got to be some reason to it. For example,
Like I enjoy it. That's the reason.
PCs. Now, earlier, Z is a PlayStation guy. I'm an Xbox guy, but I've also been a closet PC gamer type guy.
A PlayStation guy since I moved to the States. Always PC before that.
All right, still, I talked about wanting to build a PC, and that's something that I really enjoy doing. And this guy says, hey, I'm finally going to break down and get one. Will you help me? Sure, no problem. You know what he does? He goes and buys a pre-built. Anyway, my point being,
Well, we'll talk about it later.
I would build PCs every week.
Okay.
It's fun. If there's just, to me, there's something exciting about getting all the pieces, putting it all together, seeing how much better it is or how cool it is. Like, I love the RGB lighting in it, and he's got some nice fans on here. I got some strips I'm going to put in tomorrow on mine. And why? No reason.
No reason.
That's just fun. And I would build it constantly. Someone, if you wanted to build one, sure, I'll build it. I would have done the whole thing. I wouldn't have cared because it's fun for me. But it's not practical. You know, you could drop a minimum of $1,000
Oh yeah, yeah.
to thousands of dollars. What am I going to do? Of course, you got to sell it. If you want to do something with that kind of passion for that kind of dollar amount, you have to sell it. My son can draw a Ninja Turtle. It'll take him 30 minutes, and he can sell it or he cannot sell it. But you building something, me building a PC, if there's not the end game of building it, it's not practical.
But
follow.
that's what I'm saying. The end game is I enjoy it. Like that's the end game. Like PC is probably like the extreme example because it costs so much money, you know. But let's say I want to build a dining table or whatever it is. It doesn't cost as much as to build a PC. I don't need $2,000 to do it. No, but when I'm building it, I want to maximize my efforts, my time, my materials, so I can make as much money out of it. I'm not necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna build this to enjoy it. And maybe because I don't enjoy it as much and then maximizing it. But you know, like I'm just thinking of maybe like when it's too late to start doing stuff for pleasure.
Well, if you go back,
Or
to
maybe
that
it's too early now, or maybe it's still not too late because you know, like you have all these middle-aged men that like buy Corvettes and start like living life. I don't know. Maybe I'm not in that age yet, or financial group. I don't know.
Well, I mean, age, to bring it back into the real dad realm, having older kids allows a different level of your life. The realization that my wife and I could leave the kids at home
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Yeah.
And go out.
I can't wait.
and not worry, not panic, not have to get a babysitter, nothing. Just, guys, we're going to dinner. We'll see you in 2 hours.
And they would love it.
And they love it. I mean, there was a time when they were little, and sometimes it still happens now. I'm just going to Home Depot or I'm going to Publix. Hey, can I come? Now it's, all right. Well, mommy's going to come too. All right. See ya. It's a whole new level of freedom that you
It
experience.
gives you some time to pursue things.
It gives you some of those opportunities. If my kids were still little, maybe a PC building business would have been out of the question. Because you got little kids, they're not much more expensive, but there's a lot more time expense really to having younger kids. And then you got to worry about having all these expensive parts lying around with little, oh my gosh, you spilled your drink on that $400 graphics card. Where now it's, oh, that's dad's stuff. I can just leave it over there.
Well, that just happened. Like my kid was like when I bought my PC and the first time boot up, like like it's initializing and installing, and my little one steps on extension cord and just shuts it off. I just like cold sweat and a mini heart attack. Luckily nothing happened, but it could have been like end of game. Like you know how it goes when it's in the first. So it was that's true. It's true. I don't know. I just wanna be there for her. Like I don't know if my parents did that to me or not. I can't really remember if they were pushing me or not for those things. It's been a while. But I wanna create an environment for her that if she says, I really want to do this or I want to do that too.
And that's probably the vision in which you have to look back at your life. Not so much what were they encouraging, but like my parents did for baseball, they didn't necessarily encourage, but they didn't impede either. And the reason why I'm saying to look at it that way is my career in the restaurant business. Very quick backstory. My grandmother, who I never got to meet, ran a luncheonette in Long Island, New York. I don't know if it was Cold Spring Harbor or Huntington. I forget, Dad. Sorry. And if I remember correctly, when she passed away, it basically fell to him to have to run it, and he hated it. So when he sees his son like really kind of enjoying it, and I was picking up extra shifts, working overtime, pushed myself into management, and he saw I was getting serious. He tried to impede. He would know I
because
was getting home at 1 or 2 in the
because he
morning,
hated it.
and at 7 a.m., come on, we got to yard work. I'm like, I just got home a couple hours ago. I only went to bed 2 hours ago, and I got to work tonight. All right, well, you got to mow the lawn. Now? So there has to be, I'm not going to say there has to be, but there's likely stuff in your life that if you thought about it, they might not have pushed, but they didn't impede. They kind of let you roam. And that's what we're hoping to do with our kids, and that's what you're hoping to do with yours. And it might be the best way to do it is just get out of their way sometimes. Let them figure it out. And you just, when they started taking their first steps, what did you do?
Just
Your
guide
hands
them.
were right here going, oh, God, okay.
Just like an umbrella parent. Just make sure that's
A little bit, yeah.
just right there. Like nothing. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you think. It's a long-term subject. You never know. Like I can't come back next episode and says, well, my daughter chose this and it's doing great. So
And in 15 years from now, I can't tell you what my 22-year-old son is doing.
so in 30 years we'll come back and like old grandpas and we'll talk about what our kids did and how it did help. So let us know what you think and what did you do for your kids and what do you plan to do for your kids, and like this video, subscribe, message us on everywhere, and tell us how we're doing. That's it. That's it. I guess I don't have any exit. Do you have any?
I was
exit?
just going to let him just keep stammering.
I can. Yeah, stammering, babbling. Have a
Bye,
good night.
folks.
Bye.